Football program is reporting 6 new positive tests for the coronavirus in the past week. The team's total this month now 37. The Gators returned to practice yesterday following a 2-week hiatus because of a COVID-19 outbreak. 10th-ranked Florida is slated to host Missouri on Saturday. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones none too pleased when asked today on his weekly radio show if his 2-5 team has a leadership void. Jones on 105.3 The Fan curtly answered, "There's no leadership void." ESPN's Jeff Saturday begs to differ.
It feels like 53 guys, you have 53 agendas, right? There's no team yet. There's no chemistry yet. Mike McCarthy came in again. He's trying to build culture in this locker room. But I disagree with Jerry right here. I mean, this is a leadership void from the top down.
Here's Coach Matt Nagy said today he does not intend to give up play-calling duties or go back to quarterback Mitchell Trubisky following the loss to the Rams. Ravens signing receiver Des Bryant to their practice squad. Dodgers can claim their first World Series title since 1988 with a victory in Game 6 over the Rays tonight, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Want to know what's really scary? Seeing just how much you could have been saving on car insurance by switching to Geico. It's almost as scary as watching your dog growl at the wall and realize he sees something you don't. Get a quote at geico.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. A lot to get to today on the show. Larry Holder, bottom of this hour. Next hour, Mikie Mahtook talking Game 6 of the World Series. We'll also chat with our friend Scott Kushner of The Advocate. Stan Van Gundy meeting with the media right now in New Orleans, being introduced as the Pels' new head coach. So we'll talk about that. And then Rohan Davey in studio with us in the 5 o'clock hour today. So we will very much look forward to all of that and glad to have you aboard with us. Let's see. I wanted to start with this. You probably saw it this morning, but Sean Payton is just fabulous at Twitter. You probably heard, we talked about it yesterday on the show, that Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk had reported that the Saints were engaging in possible trade talks or entertaining trade talks and offers for Micheal Thomas. We talked about it yesterday on the show, why that's really not practical. Sean Payton, throughout his entire time in New Orleans, has valued culture so much. And dating back to whenever he first got here in 2006, and he ran off veterans like Wayne Gandy and Dante Stallworth, cleaned house again after the back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons with guys like Jimmy Graham and Kenny Stills. And you know the drill. They cleaned house. He was very much just more about culture, a Junior Gillette, than he was about pandering to guys that had earned a big contract and played well on the field. So Sean, valuing culture more than anything, wasn't going to allow Micheal Thomas or any player to ruin the culture. And if Sean went to bat for Micheal Thomas like he did over the weekend, it certainly meant something. And it was Mike Florio who reported over the weekend about the possible trade talks with Mike Thomas. Sean Payton replied then, if you remember, insiders on the outside where they belong. Well, today, Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk posted Micheal Thomas most likely won't be traded, but there definitely was an effort to get someone to make the Saints an offer. That was the tweet from Pro Football Talk. Micheal Thomas most likely won't get traded, but what we really promised, seriously, this was a real thing, though. They were trying to get someone to make an offer. To which Sean Payton replied from his verified Twitter account, a GIF of someone riding a bicycle backwards. Literally backpedaling. I'm so glad Sean Payton did this. And some might say, that's really petty. Why would the head coach of an NFL franchise and someone as esteemed as Payton. Why would he even bother? Why would he engage in that? I'm so glad that he replied the way he did and the way he has, because that really is the only surefire way to stop the anonymous source culture within media. And the problem with it, and this isn't just me, shouting at the clouds or ranting to other media people about the way they do their job. The problem is what this does is it confuses the audience. It confuses the consumer. I'll tell you what I mean in a second and illustrate it. But when you look at this, Mike Florio got this story from someone with an agenda. There's no other way to say it. Like, I have people give me information because they want a story out there. It happens. People will float stories to outlets because they want it out there because they have an agenda. Maybe it was an agent. Maybe it was an agent that was trying to negotiate a deal or get some type of favorable terms. Maybe it was a front office member of another team, right, that is in competition with the Saints that wanted to create friction around the organization because they have to play New Orleans, so they float this story to Florio and say, hey, Saints called us to see if we would make an offer. And so Florio goes with it, and he anonymously sources it. But we've become so accustomed to seeing anonymous sourcing in media that we just accept it as fact. Like, this is how awful this whole thing has gotten. Do you remember? This was in February. The Atlanta Falcons tweeted. I'm actually going to defend the Falcons because they did a good thing, if you remember this. The Falcons tweeted in February, breaking news, we will not pursue negotiations with Vic Beasley this offseason. Somebody on Twitter replies to that tweet and says, source, ? They've since deleted the tweet, but they said source, ? The verified Falcons Twitter account replies, literally us, the Falcons. The Falcons from their Twitter account said we're not pursuing contract with Beasley, and someone's like, oh, who's your source? People are confused, y'all, and they're confused because so much of this has gotten mucked up because of the anonymous sourcing culture in and around everything right now. Like, how difficult would it have been for Mike Florio? Seriously, how difficult would it have been for Mike Florio to call Sean Payton or call Mickey Loomis or anybody within the Saints organization and say, I have a report that you all are shopping Mike Thomas. Can you give me an on-the-record comment? Yes or no? And even if Florio wants to report the story, he can then report the Saints side of the story, which is no. Okay, that's reporting. But that kills a good story. Look, as far as the Micheal Thomas situation, he's not going anywhere, okay? The Saints signed Mike Thomas a year ago. They gave him a 5-year, $96.25 million contract with a $20 million signing bonus. Just if you look at the money ahead, Thomas has $23 million in dead cap money next year and $14 million in dead cap money for 2022. So over the next 2 years, if the Saints traded Micheal Thomas and he was not on the roster the next 2 seasons, he would count $37 million against the cap for a player not on your team. I'm not going to say no way because I don't like to speak in absolutes, but it would take a freezing day in hell for the Saints to trade Micheal Thomas and eat 37, take that caliber of player, get rid of him from your roster, and eat $37 million against your cap in a year next year when the cap's probably going to be down around 175. That seems to be the consensus. It just doesn't make any sense when you actually add it all up together. So good on Sean Payton for pointing out that Mike Florio is a goon in this instance and in many instances, because all Mike Florio did his readers, did the consumer, an absolute disservice by running with this and by never going to get the other side of the story, which is why I'm glad people like Sean Payton are willing to take to Twitter and to social media from their verified accounts and call out that lunacy and that lazy professional behavior. I even call it unprofessional behavior. I nailed it, by the way. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC coming up here in just a quick minute. Larry Holder, bottom of this hour. Stan Van Gundy introduced in New Orleans. We'll talk to Scott Kushner the start of Hour 2, and then Rohan Davey in Hour 3. One other quick note here before we break. This is some disappointing news. Really hate to see this. LSU commitment Landon Jackson. He's the 4-star defensive end out of Texas. There were reports that his season is over due to an ankle injury, and he did, in fact, confirm that today on his Twitter account. He tweeted, leaving it in God's hands, and he has a message that he typed up there, essentially confirming the news that his senior season at Pleasant Grove is over, so he will be joining LSU. It doesn't say if he'll be an early signee here, and I really don't know the answer to that, but Jackson's a 4-star defensive end commitment for LSU out of Texas, the number 112 overall player in the country, the number 7 weak side defensive end in the country for 2021. But his senior season at Pleasant Grove in Texas is over. Next time we see him on a field will be in the purple and gold. So thoughts and prayers there for a quick recovery for Landon Jackson. Really a bummer. See that he's going to miss this season. He already missed the 2018 season with a knee injury. So 2 of his 4 years in high school ended prematurely due to injury. It is after further review. Glad you're with us. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC and then Larry Holder at the bottom of the hour. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and Lake Charles, and always online at PremierSouthLA.com. I hate to say it, but as you all are well aware, there is yet another storm in the Gulf, and that is just a miserable thought. But if you find yourself in the path of this storm of Zeta, which is coming our way, you can trust Premier South Roofing if it's a roof repair, if it's a roof replacement. If you're still picking up the pieces after Laura or Delta, Premier South Roofing is here and ready when you are. They've won ethics awards from the Better Business Bureau. They'll do the job right the first time, every time at Premier South Roofing. PremierSouthLA.com. You can go to the website. You can see pictures of their work. You can read some reviews there as well. It's Premier South Roofing. And remember, they can handle everything from that first phone call all the way through the completion of the work. It's Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
All right, man, what do you want to watch? Football or football?
Let's go with football.
Football it is.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So this is pretty cool. If you didn't see it yet, College Gameday released a video via Twitter and I guess everywhere, but that on November the 14th, there's obviously going to be a scheduling oddity with the Masters moving from its usual spring date to the fall. College Gameday is going to broadcast live November the 14th from Augusta National. They will be at the Masters. So this will be the first time ever, obviously, that they would be at Augusta National at the Masters. So they will originate from the par 3 course from 9 to noon Eastern, 8 to 11 Central, but Augusta, College Gameday live from Augusta for the Masters on November the 14th. So a couple things. Number one, I think that's really cool. With Gameday, anytime you have the opportunity for a novelty like that, you take it. We've seen College Gameday broadcast live from a battleship. We've seen them at times where there aren't great schedules in major college football. They've gone to the Ivy League and done things like that. They've gone up to North Dakota State. We've seen college football do some things like that, some random novelties when they've had the opportunity. And this is another one that's pretty cool. The other thing that means is College Gameday won't be in Baton Rouge this year, obviously. With almost forgot. My bottle of Sazerac was hanging out over on the edge of the table. Forgot to frame it up there. Paulie, did you notice that? No? Wow. The video producer. Good looking out, Paulie. Jeez. My bottle of Sazerac I forgot it over on the end of the table. Anyway, I had to make sure I get that thing in the shot, right? This also means that, look, November the 14th is the same day of the LSU Bama game. So that means no College Gameday in Baton Rouge this year. The other big game that day is Wisconsin at Michigan. So that really would have been what Gameday would have been choosing between Wisconsin at Michigan or LSU, Bama at LSU. And because Gameday was just had Michigan, it's likely they would have picked LSU. But nonetheless, no Gameday in Baton Rouge this year, but all good. Still a pretty cool novelty there for college football and College Gameday. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Hey, let me remind you, a week from Thursday, over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, they have their Christmas in November event coming up. Their annual Christmas in November event. It's always a great time. They have catered food. They have open bar. It's beer and champagne and wine. And more importantly, it's an opportunity to get on by and meet their staff. Meet Dr. Howell, meet Kirk, meet the whole staff over there at Aesthetic. And they have the best one-day specials of the entire year. A lot of clients go to Aesthetic every year for Christmas in November and buy products and services like for the whole year on that day because it's the only day that they're available at those great rates. So make plans to be there Christmas in November, 1 week from Thursday. That's November the 5th. If you haven't done so yet, you can get to their Facebook page. You can get to their website. They got all the information that you need about the specials that they have available. They're all listed right now. So catch up before you get over there. Make plans to be there a week from Thursday at the Blue Bonnet location in Baton Rouge. You can learn more at theantiagingclinics.com for the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. All right, we do it every day. A little early, actually, because we've got Larry Holder coming up in 10 minutes. But let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Running back Kylan Hill's Mississippi State career is over. Star running back won't play again this season. He will opt out for the NFL draft. He was suspended for the team's most recent game, and Mike Leach indicated Monday Hill was still unavailable for this weekend's game against Alabama. Meanwhile, redshirt sophomore quarterback Jalen Maiden has entered the transfer portal. Maiden was a consensus 4-star when he signed with Mississippi State, but he's been running behind KJ Costello and Will Rogers. So Maiden's departure now leaves 4 quarterbacks on Mississippi State's roster.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn likely without one of its wide receivers when it hosts LSU this weekend. Junior receiver Shedrick Jackson, Gus Malzahn said, quote, he's probably questionable at best. Jackson missed last week's game against Ole Miss with an undisclosed injury, had only 1 reception for 9 yards this season.
The Florida Gators.
Florida's released its latest weekly update on COVID-19 testing. A 6th new positive case from last Tuesday's release. The Gators still should be over their most significant portion of the outbreak. Florida did return to action yesterday for practice as they prepare for Missouri in the Swamp on Saturday night.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss getting 2 defensive starters back from COVID-19 isolation this week. Defensive end Tariquius Tisdale and cornerback Ja'Cory Hawkins each missed the Rebels' losses against Arkansas and Auburn because they were in COVID-19 protocols. On Monday, Kiffin revealed Tisdale and Hawkins never actually tested positive, but they were sidelined because of contact tracing. Kiffin didn't reveal if he'd have any players missing for this week's game against Vanderbilt.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Meanwhile, Vanderbilt has enough scholarship players available to play this week against Ole Miss. Vandy's 0-3. They've not played in more than 2 weeks. They missed their October 17th game against Missouri because of their own outbreak. They didn't have enough scholarship players required, and then they had their previously scheduled week off this past Saturday. Vandy had about 10 players opt out before the season due to COVID-19, and then they've suffered 1 outbreak, which led them to miss the Missouri game. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. The Kylan Hill story, I think, is really interesting. If you were here last week, we told you about 2 players that are pretty prominent players that opted out. They kind of have local ties. Puka Williams opted out at Kansas, and then DeMonte Coxey, who's the wide receiver at one point in his career, was committed to LSU, and then obviously signed with Memphis and has been a really good player there, returned for his senior year this year. He also opted out last week. And we talked about this last week because my feeling was you're going to see more of this. Talked about it last week. If teams have lost games or whatever goals might have been in sight for those teams or those, for those programs, if those now are removed, you may have more players decide to do this instead of continuing to go through the absurdity of having Q-tips shoved up your nose every day, tickling your brain, and going through all of this nonsense with, even if you're near somebody, you got to sit out for 14 days. The absurdity of these protocols, I think, are going to force more players to opt out as the season moves along when their teams are eliminated. Now, there's a situation in Wisconsin today that we'll talk about in the next hour because I think that poses a potentially gigantic issue for the Big Ten. But this is something I think we're going to start seeing more of, and I think it could certainly happen at LSU. I think it could happen anywhere. But I think you're going to have more players choose to opt out. It's no different than any other decision we've seen evolve over the last 25 years where players have taken their own futures into consideration. It used to be an extreme rarity that players would leave early for the NFL draft. Remember, Eddie Kennison did it, and it was mind-blowing. Now it's really the norm. It's just become accepted and normal. Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette opting out of the bowl game back in 2016. They were widely criticized for it, but when both guys went high in round 1, a lot of players looked and said, well, if the NFL is not going to look at that negatively, then why put myself at risk for a meaningless bowl game? And now you're seeing more players opt out. Start of this season, you had some players opt out to COVID, and you had more and more that followed that suit. I know people here, LSU fans, saw Chase and Shelvin and Kerry Vincent, Neil Farrell, like, what's going on? Well, Vanderbilt had 10 players opt out. Texas A&M had 4 defensive backs opt out. I mean, it was just it became a very understood, accepted thing. And I think this is the next wave that we're going to see happen. I have no doubt, it's not going to stop with Puka Williams, DeMonte Coxie, and Kylan Hill. That's not going to be it. There's going to be many, many more between now and the end of the season that say, I'm good. Our season's down the tubes. I got an NFL future. I'm out. I fully expect that to happen. My bigger question long-term in college football is when we start to see more and more of this, does it persist after COVID? What I mean is, let's assume next football season we're back to normal, right? Normal schedule, full stands, all that sort of stuff. Do you see instances where if teams come into the season top 10 and they had those aspirations and you hit a 3-game skid, do you have guys just go, yeah, I'm done. See y'all. Deuces. Out. Go get ready for the draft. Maybe. Maybe so. And that for me, I think will be the bigger telltale long-term, the more interesting storyline long-term. Are these mid-season opt-outs now going to make it kosher moving forward? Kylan Hill opting out at Mississippi State. All right, it's at the further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Jim's Firearms.net phone lines there at 499-1045 or toll-free 844-568-MATT. Tweet us at Matt Moscona at 1045 ESPN or jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show, and we appreciate you for being here with us. Let's grab a quick break, come back, talk some Houdat with Larry Holder. Stick around on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Y'all, do it right now. It's 326. Maybe you're in your car. Maybe you're at your desk. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're at the gym, on the treadmill. Whatever it is, do it right now. Insurance Network of Louisiana, they're open for another hour and a half. Call right now. You've heard me say this every day for so long, for so many years, and you've always thought to yourself, I wonder if Moscona talking about saving money on insurance, all this stuff, I wonder if that would apply to me. I wonder if I could save money. I wonder if I'm properly insured. Now is the day. Consider this your push. Not just a push. Consider this the barefoot swift kick to the hiney that's going to make you call the number. 293-0450. Matt, I don't live in Baton Rouge. No worries. They're licensed all over Louisiana, in Texas, in Alabama, in Mississippi, in Arkansas, in Florida. You got a condo on the panhandle of Florida or on the Gulf Coast? Call Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call them right now. Let them shop to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care. It's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, every Tuesday, we visit with Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Good enough to jump aboard with us here. Larry, how are you?
I'm good, Matthew. How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. So the Saints go perfect in October again. This is kind of amazing how good they've been in the month of October. Do you see the parallels with this team right now with, say, the last 3 years?
I don't know if I want to go that far, just because I feel like in 2017, we didn't know if this team would be that good. And, 2018, we felt like, all right, that this team would start to kind of make some momentum. So I don't know if there's too many parallels, just because I also feel like this team, I feel like, has more question marks on the defensive side of the football at this point than maybe some of those other teams, because I felt like that in a lot of those years, the defense was starting to creep up to improve. And I don't feel like that this defense has started to really creep up and improve the same way it has in the last few years. And that's why you hear Sean Payton having no problems questioning, say, the secondary, on a Monday after a game's over. And, his phrasing, saying the $6 million question, I wonder, given the way we've seen Sean Payton reacting publicly on Twitter these last couple of days, I'm wondering if the $6 million figure just happens to coincide with the total worth of a contract of a certain fourth-year free safety that is worth around $6 million.
So do they have options, trade deadline? Do they have options right now to improve the personnel in the secondary?
Well, look, a couple years ago, they traded for Eli Apple, and that is not the person I think they really wanted to trade for. I think back then they actually wanted to try to get someone like Patrick Peterson, and I don't think they were willing to give enough ammo to do it. So they settled for Eli Apple. I just don't think that they're in that situation, because the players that they have are veteran players. They traded for Apple out of total desperation. They had to have somebody. Look, Janoris Jenkins at corner, not Marshawn Lattimore at your other corner. You've got veterans that are playing safety. I just think that they are mind-boggled in the fact that veteran players who should know the defense are acting like, or just not knowing what's going on. And we've seen it too many times this year. And how do you fix that? If it keeps happening, what do you do? And so I don't know if trading for someone is the answer. But look, I'm sure they have to explore something, because Sean Payton knows it. Dennis Allen knows it. If you play like that, you're not winning a Super Bowl. I mean, that's just the way it is.
So my feeling has been, I'm surprised they're not basically behaving like the Bucs are. All in, frenetic pace, anything to make you better. Am I misreading this, Larry, or does the organization just have a completely different view of where they are? I mean, from an insider's perspective, are they not in total desperation mode right now to win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, I think they already went all in the offseason with acquisitions like Emmanuel Sanders, like Malcolm Jenkins. Like, I felt like the moves that they make display that. Just because they're not running out and signing Antonio Brown now doesn't mean that they haven't been in all-in desperation mode already. So, and look, it just depends on what's out there. I mean, and how much capital the Saints want to give up. They've given up cap space to try to make this work. And at some point, I mean, we always say it's going to catch up to them, and it doesn't. But I just feel like at some point it will.
Nah.
And so, okay, you say nah, but if the cap drops significantly and doesn't jump, that alters your plan. I mean, that just has to happen. Okay, all you want.
They'll figure it out. They'll restructure 5 deals. They'll add like faux 8 years on the end of contracts. Kai Harley's going to figure that out. Like, that's what he's paid to do, and he's the best at it. And they have an owner that's willing to cut checks up front to make, cash available on the back end. So, or cap space available on the back end. So, whatever. They'll make it work.
This is different, though. I'm not saying that
really.
They can't figure it out. Not really. The cap jumps every year. It's going to drop. Like, what do you mean? That's totally different than what's normal. So
and they'll figure it out.
That's why I say that. Yeah, they'll figure it out by like having to chop people and
you want to bet?
Betting every week on something now.
Okay.
So, I mean, what's your definition of figuring it out? That's the question. What's your definition
the Saints
of figuring it
will,
out?
because people always say, well, they won't have any money to sign players in free agency, and the first day of free agency, they will sign a big money acquisition.
I'm not saying that they're not going to have money to do it, but it's going to be a few years ago, they had to cut into the bone. I mean, they traded Darren Sproles. They had to cut a bunch of veterans to make cap space work to go get new players. Like, so that can happen, but this might be the first time in maybe 5 years where you have to actually chop into your team more than you're used to doing. And that's where I'm coming from. You know, they could figure it out. So, and go buy a player.
Who are they?
That comes with a cost.
Who on their roster are they chopping to figure it out? Like you said, I mean, Marcus Williams is obvious. He stinks right now. They're not going to pay that guy. So who else?
Sheldon Rankins was probably one you won't pay.
I'm good with that. I don't think you're going to. But Larry, can we agree that cap situation notwithstanding, you probably weren't going to pay him anyway?
I don't know. I think you would let the season play out, but I think the more and more you see it, and I think the writing's on the wall for those guys. But look, you probably don't bring. Janoris Jenkins is probably something you move on to, and you do something else. You get because you trade out a high price safety or a high price defensive tackle, and you probably bring in younger players.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Saints let safeties walk all the time. They've done it outside of Roman Harper. They've let everyone walk. And so I could see that happening, and maybe some other places. So, look, I haven't dug into all of that, but I'm just saying the Saints make things work easier when the cap jumps. When it doesn't, it puts yourself in a difficult, unprecedented type of situation. And, maybe the following year you can go back to status quo and do all this. But the cap won't jump, or if it even drops, the Saints are in a different ballgame than they typically are used to being in.
And they'll figure it out. Larry Holder's with us. He's on Twitter at Larry. They will. They'll make it work because it's what they do every year. It's their approaches. Didn't you just say we say this every year for the last 10 years, and they always and they'll figure it out again. Like they will.
But
they'll
the
just figure it
cap
out.
doesn't drop those 10 years.
And
that's the difference.
So it makes it more challenging. And they'll figure it out because it's what they do.
Of course, they figure it out and they man a roster. But what does that look like? What does quote-unquote figuring it out mean?
I just told you. Like
we have
you haven't
different
presented.
interpretations
So hold on.
of figuring it out.
So you haven't presented anything to me that I didn't think they were already going to do. Like I don't expect them to pay Marcus Williams. I don't expect them to pay Sheldon Rankins. Cap dropping or notwithstanding. And Janoris Jenkins, I think, is really a tweener anyway. Probably on the side of not re-signing. So where's the guy? I mean, who do they not? Who do they not pay?
Thomas Morstead. You could cut Thomas Morstead and go with the rookie punter. You could go there. I need to look at this because I haven't studied this in depth. So if I did it, I could come back to you with like an 8-step plan, and
I think
maybe this could do it.
I think I just gave you an idea for a column at theathletic.com/New Orleans.
I'm sure it would be coming at some point. I didn't expect to be doing it this early. I'm not going to do it this early.
Okay.
But it's something we have to explore. There's no question.
Okay, so they're 4-2. where we started was, did this October mirror past Octobers, which were sort of the springboard for a great run? Is it possible or likely even for this team to springboard heretofore, considering what we saw from Drew Brees, who looked like Drew Brees on Sunday?
I do think it's possible. Look, Chicago is beatable. I know it's going to be chilly up there, and still, the Saints have won in cold weather. I don't want to hear that anymore. It's not going to be like Arctic. It's just going to be unpleasant. So I think Chicago, you can win that game. And moving forward, it's not like the schedule is like mega tough. So yeah, you play Tom Brady in a couple weeks, this, that, and the other. But I think you could go into some of these games and figure that the Saints can win. Now, might it be tight? Yeah, like I assumed the Carolina game would be tight, even if they had Mike Thomas. I just don't think the Saints are good enough to like blow anyone away at this rate. But we've seen, like you said, Drew Brees put together 2-minute drills, and whether it's at the end of a half or at the end of a game, and I feel like the offense is upticking enough, and at least the defense, when it's like back against the wall, you get a sack from Marcus Davenport, or Marshawn Lattimore makes a tackle on 4th down and wins the game. So at least you're seeing that. So, look, I do think it is a springboard. I just don't think that this Saints team, I'm not saying, wow, they're the best in the NFC, which I feel like maybe at, like, say, the midway point in the last couple of seasons, I would have said that.
Yeah. Did you ever think they were really going to trade Mike Thomas?
No.
What is up with Florio, man? What is he doing?
I heard your speech about
Do you agree?
Sourcing, and I'm glad you brought it up. But I do want to bring up some things. Look, I've gotten into a kind of a back and forth with Florio before about he thought someone planted me a story about Jimmy Graham facing wide receivers, and I had to write back to him on Twitter as he was like ripping me on his site. Guess what? My own little pea brain actually did the research and studied every game and watched every snap and came up with the story all by myself. And he had to like backtrack, and I went on his show, and he had to apologize to me on his TV show. And so I felt real good about that. But as far as sourcing goes, look, as far as some of this goes, like when you get a story, and I think, I don't want to go out and guess who the source is, but like, let's just play a scenario here. Like you say, okay, call Sean Payton and call Mickey Loomis. Well, I can tell you a lot of times they don't respond. So you better trust your source well enough that the story is rock solid if you're going on a one source kind of a deal. And in those situations, I can read between the tea leaves. I don't want to say who I think it is, but let's just say it was another team.
Sure it was.
That's kind of where I'm thinking of. So you got to think of an agenda, like you said. But a lot of times, it's not as easy to get them to like respond back, this, that, and the other. So you better trust your source.
Or you don't report a single source story, which is actually, this as well as I do, Larry, reporting a single sourced anonymous story is, I wish I could curse here. If it was whiskey and wine, I would. It's BS. It is. And you may trust your info, but unless if you are, Woodward and Bernstein talking to Deep Throat in a dark parking garage trying to bring down the president of the United States of America, you can't tell me someone turning their ankle is worth anonymously sourcing. We're going down a really dark road here, but either way.
I would say it depends on the gravity of the story. A single source say, someone is signing with the Saints. I mean, typically that is a single source story. Like, it depends on the gravity of the story. Like a transaction, okay. Injury, I could tell you, source said, is typically an agent who knows that there's an injury.
I understand that.
So that's where that comes in when you're talking sourcing. But, boy, let me tell you.
And it should be on the record.
Let me tell you, if it was only that easy.
It should be.
But everything should be. But a lot of times that's how people get information. They don't want to attach your name to it. It's right.
Quid pro quo. Do you want your story out there or not?
Well, I'll just put it to you this way.
That's why I would probably not, if I were a reporter, I would not survive in this world because I can't do what reporters today do. It's just, I could never have fixed my name to something that's single-sourced anonymously. Because look what happened with Florio. He completely got played, and the head coach of an NFL franchise basically outed and made him look like the jackass that he is.
Let me just put it into context. Like, okay, me as a reporter, I would single source a transaction. Okay, like that's you know who's coming, where it's coming from, and it's going to be right. So, say when I reported that Junior Galette was on a video in a beach brawl and hitting a woman with a belt, I definitely multiple sourced it and got it ran through our lawyers at the Times-Picayune.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you better have it rock solid, ready to go. Something like Micheal Thomas, that sort of thing. If I'm hearing it from some sort of an agenda-based place, I'm probably very leery on doing it. And I don't like to play that game anyway, where you're being played.
Yep.
I rarely put myself in that situation. So, but national reporters, those type of people, they find themselves being compromised a lot because they have friends and sources all over the place. And if you do this, it pisses someone else off, that, and the other. So that's the game they play. I'm glad I don't really have to play that game.
Amen.
And
that's what I'm saying, Larry. I couldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, because
I don't have to do that.
It's clicks and follows, and I get it. Florio's running his website, and he's got to keep traffic up, and I get it. That's why you run with that story. And if you go to Payton or Loomis and they shoot it down, I mean, then what do? Your story's gone. But Mike Thomas being traded is salacious, and look, we're talking about it still 3 days later. I mean, anyway. That's why I could do. I mean, I had no intention of making this like a journalism 2000 class. Like I wanted this.
I'm glad you did, though. I wanted to talk with you about it, and I think the people, your listeners, want to know because this sort of stuff comes out of LSU all the time too, where it's a source, this, that, the other. So, but look, I mean, it really depends on the ethics of a certain reporter and who are they compromised and who is their friend and which reporter is represented by an agency. Like that matters too. Like Adam Schefter has an agent who's part of an agency. You know, like those things. Like it's you put yourself sometimes in compromising situations. I don't make enough money to have an agent, so I guess we're not good enough shape. And also, I just don't feel like it's worth it to me to put myself journalistically in that sort of situation.
That feels like a cart or horse question, Larry. Maybe you get the agent, and then you start making more money.
Will you be my agent?
Sure. 10%.
It's 3%, dude.
It's 10%. Max. I just told you 10%.
I'll find a new agent.
Okay, find yourself a new agent. Hey, do the Saints beat the Bears?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the way the Saints played in a tough game this week, and the Bears, they're not a very good 5-2 team. So I think the Saints can go up there and beat the Bears. Just don't let Nick Foles beat you on these big plays. Can't have him look like Joe Montana. Like he's got to just be who he is, and if he's not, the Saints can win that game.
All right, thank you, Larry. We'll talk later.
What class are we going to teach next week to our your listeners?
How about Art History 1001? I cheated in that class.
How about Mixology 6000?
Oh, I am a professor in that one, friend.
I like it. I want to learn.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. We'll see you. That is Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Go read his stuff. Does a really good job. It's after further review.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Carriages in Bocage, carriagesbr.com, carriagesbr.com. My goodness, what an awesome time to go see our friends over at Carriages in Bocage because spring has sprung and all of the new spring designs are there. How about shirts from Stenstrom's? They got them right now at Carriages in Bocage. Maybe you want a brand new dress coat, blazer, dress shirt, tie combination. Luciano Barbera, they got you covered. Cashmere, all different fabrics. Check them out at Carriages in Bocage. Even accessories like pocket squares or belts, watches, cufflinks, they've got you covered at Carriages in Bocage. Shirts from Eaton and Stenstrom's. So much gorgeous fall attire is there at Carriages in Bocage. Voted by you the best men's clothier in the Best of 225 awards. They've got officially licensed LSU gear as well, so if you need that game day apparel, they've got you covered at Carriages in Bocage. Shop them online at carriagesbr.com. Tell them Matt sent you into Carriages.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a 2020 Highlander for $4,500 off MSRP. That's right, $4,500 off MSRP. Hurry in, they won't last long. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Well, the reason why I would recommend him because he's trustworthy. I mean, attention and love and respect of who you are, what you are, and the purpose why you came, he honors that. Once you're with Murphy,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, short on time. We went along with Larry there. I don't even know how that all started, but that was a fun convo. Stan Van Gundy was introduced as the Pelicans coach today. We'll talk with our friend Scott Kushner coming up here in 8 minutes from right now about what the new coach of the Pels had to say. The SEC has fined Lane Kiffin $25,000 for retweeting and officiating critique. By now, you know what happened. Sean Shivers of Auburn touched a kickoff on Saturday's game against Ole Miss. It went into the end zone. It very clearly touched his finger. The officials did not review it. Shivers did not go retrieve the football. It was recovered in the end zone by Ole Miss. Should have been an Ole Miss touchdown, which the SEC has now confirmed. They acknowledged they should have stopped the play, reviewed it, and the ball would have been ruled a touchdown for Ole Miss, but they did not do that. Lane Kiffin retweeted a tweet from Aaron Suttles on Jocks FM in Birmingham, who also, I believe, writes for The Athletic. Aaron Suttles tweeted, Lane Kiffin, replay blew it. SEC, replay blew it. Also SEC, here's a $25,000 fine, Lane, for correctly pointing out we blew it. Lane Kiffin retweeted that, so that goes under the criticizing of an official arm of the SEC rule book. So it means Kiffin gets a $25,000 fine. And good for Lane Kiffin for completely trolling the SEC by also tweeting a video of a YouTube video of a man paying a $3,000 bill using a wheelbarrow full of pennies. And Lane then said, does anybody know where I can get 25,000 pennies? But he really needs 2.5 million pennies. But that was actually pretty funny as well, because I'm not good at math either, so I can kind of empathize. But anyway, point is, I'm thankful for Lane Kiffin rocking the boat. I am very thankful for Lane Kiffin rocking the boat, because that's how we get change. You want to know why the Big Ten is playing football right now? Because Nebraska rocked the boat and got a lot of people's attention. I love Kiffin's tweets. They're entertaining. I love him on Twitter. He's good for the league. He's good for the sport. He's going to get a lot of attention. All that's fantastic. But the bottom line is, with this in particular, is something I feel like I scream about every single year in every single sport, which is officials, referees, umpires, all need to be held accountable. You are not immune from criticism. You are part of the game. You have to do your job well. If you don't do your job well, you should be criticized, and you should absolutely be reprimanded for doing a poor job. There's too much at stake when you do a poor job. There are people who have jobs, people whose families live in certain areas that might have to move as a result. You have kids who have a very finite amount of time to play college football. There's too much at stake for refs to continuously screw up calls. They should absolutely be held accountable. Good for you, Lane Kiffin. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. I tell you every day how at GMFS Mortgage they change lives. They change people's lives financially. They help you lower your monthly mortgage payment, maybe skip a payment or two. They help you get into that home of your dreams, start owning, stop renting, build equity, build wealth. It's so many ways that GMFS Mortgage changes people's lives financially, but they're also changing people's lives because every loan closed in Louisiana, GMFS Mortgage makes a donation to Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center in the name of the borrower. Last month alone, that was 714 donations made to Mary Bird Perkins in the names of their borrowers. At GMFS Mortgage, they are changing lives financially, but they are also changing the lives of so many people in our communities by contributing to Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center in your name. GMFS Mortgage since 1999. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Peyton was awesome the whole time, like so friendly, you know, very quick to just come up, like let me know if there's anything you need, and just really make you feel like you're taken care of and you're kind of part of their little law family.
Hello.
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up.
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Callahan Injury Lawyer.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the Dodgers can capture their first World Series championship in 32 years with a win against the Rays in Game 6 tonight. And the starting pitching matchup of Tony Gonsolin and Blake Snell, one of contrasting styles, explains ESPN's Doug Glanville.
Blake Snell is that bona fide starter. He's a Cy Young Award winner. He's a guy with the power game, the curveball, fastball. On the other side, you have Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. He's a guy that comes in that first inning and sets up like a cavalry of bullpen.
Game 6, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Florida's football program reporting 6 new positive tests for the coronavirus in the past week. The team's total this month currently 37. The Gators returned to practice just yesterday following a 2-week hiatus because of a COVID-19 outbreak. 10th-ranked Florida is scheduled to host Missouri on Saturday. Bears coach Matt Nagy says he does not intend to give up play calling duties or go back to quarterback Mitchell Trubisky in the aftermath of last night's loss to the Rams. Through 7 games, Chicago's offense ranks near the bottom of the NFL in several categories, including points per game and yards per pass.
Barbasol shaving cream comes out thick and rich and doesn't break down. That's why Barbasol is America's #1 shaving cream. Close shave, America. Close shave Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The Brain. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. The Pels today introduced Stan Van Gundy as their new head coach. Our buddy Scott Kushner covers the Pels for The Advocate. Was, I guess, in on the Zoom call. And he's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, dude?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
How do you like Zoom call press conferences?
They're terrible, man. You just can't get any feel. There's no follow-up. It's not natural.
I know.
Man, of all the things to complain about this year, I'm going to keep Zoom calls to a very low level, but they are.
That's what it is,
not
man.
Yeah, they're not allowing us to really do the job to completion, I would say.
We all stay in our lane, and if Zoom calls is what we have to complain about, then let's complain about Zoom calls. Hey, so
Sure.
was there any? Well, let me go back before we get to today. What was your reaction whenever the hire was announced?
I think it was the logical hire in a lot of ways. I personally kind of wanted them to think outside the box, go get someone who was new, an assistant who's kind of a more innovative guy, who's, like a Will Weaver or somebody of that nature. But I understood it, the fact that they went and hired a guy who's proven, who has a real track record, who definitely has the most wins of any coach who was available, that kind of stuff. It all made a lot of sense. And I think they need someone first and foremost to kind of bring a air of responsibility, accountability, whatever you might call it, seriousness to this team that definitely was lacking under Alvin Gentry, where I don't think they respected him quite to the level that you would have hoped, that, the effort was not there on a night-to-night basis. And someone like Stan Van Gundy, if nothing else, should bring that.
You think players will respond to it?
I think they'll respond to it at first. That tends to be how this stuff works. That, I think having, just the amount of wins that he has under his belt, the fact that he's been places and been good with good teams, that does help, rather than, just a tactician walking in there the first day with kind of nothing to his name. I do think having J.J. Redick in that locker room will help a lot. I think having Drew Holiday in there will help a lot. But he's got a long way to go. I mean, you got a lot of young guys in there, and he's going to coach them hard. And he's not someone who's necessarily, known for playing a bunch of young guys and letting them figure it out. I mean, he is a hard-driving, pain-in-the-butt kind of coach.
Scott Kushner's with us. He's on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner, covers the Pels for The Advocate. So before we get to what Stan Van Gundy said, Griff also spoke on the Zoom teleconference. Anything Griff say that stood out to you?
Not in particular. I mean, he said they interviewed 9 people. I think that was interesting. I think, I asked personally just about, holding Zion accountable and how important that's going to be, considering his conditioning, considering kind of how he looked at the bubble. And Griff basically fired back. I was like, look, that's not the issue here. Like, we need Zion to just be one of everybody. Everybody's kind of got to be on the exact same page here. And he's not wrong. I mean, but the job does revolve around Zion. Let's just be honest about this. The same way LSU football revolves around Joe Burrow last year. This team is going to be about what Zion does for the next several years. And that's going to be the first and foremost, start of the action is what can he get out of Zion and what can he, derive from that level of talent. And I do think that a big part of this is having someone who is going to challenge him and going to make him grow up. And that is a really important facet of all of this.
Is there a correlation with Stan Van Gundy and Zion to Stan Van Gundy and Dwight Howard in Orlando?
I guess a little bit. The difference being, I think Dwight Howard was always a little bit of a personality problem. He had kind of an aloof, weird thing with teammates. I don't think he ever quite got along with everybody. He was really good, and he was great in Orlando. But that's not something, personality-wise, that is not the issue with Zion. He is not, a selfish guy. He's not a me-first kind of guy. He's not someone who alienates people. What they need him to be is to understand what has to be done on a possession-to-possession basis on the defensive end, and understand how to work within kind of that team framework and learn how to be a professional on a actual, personal lifestyle type of thing, and recognizing what that takes. And it's not easy when you're 19. It just, that there's a lot of guys who don't get it. And he was among them. I mean, it's a very big transition to play defense in the NBA, and he was not ready for it. He did not perform well on that end. He was spectacular on offense at 19 years old, which is a huge sign in the right direction for what he's capable of going forward. But it does show that there's a lot of room to grow.
We talk so much about Zion, and for many obvious reasons. What about Brandon Ingram? What about Lonzo Ball? What about some of the other young talent on this team that's going to have to develop under Stan Van Gundy?
Yeah, I think they fit what he wants to do well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of challenging times for Brandon Ingram because I think he's going to get pushed defensively more than he's ever been pushed before. He's someone who likes coaching. He's someone who over and over again kind of told the staff, like, I want you to dog cuss me. I want you to tell me that I suck. I want you to tell me that, what's wrong all the time. And it's a really rare thing to see in the NBA, but it got him better. I mean, he was the most improved player in the NBA last year. I think Van Gundy will have an even bigger opportunity to kind of expand that game and really help him, particularly at the defensive end, the rebounding side. And Lonzo Ball, I mean, Stan today was basically, he's spitballing. He doesn't really know. He thinks Lonzo is a really high basketball IQ and can do a lot of things they need him to do. I don't necessarily think he's a long-term piece for where they're at. I think last year, did show this team needs to – I don't think you can have Drew Holiday and Lonzo Ball in the same backcourt. It doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. And it didn't really work together all that well last year for long stretches. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But I do think, those guys under 25 are going to have to, figure him out because he is not Alvin Gentry. Alvin Gentry was very much a hands-off, you're a professional, I trust you guys to go out and play and that kind of thing. And a lot of times it didn't work. And I think that's why they're kind of changing gears and going to a very different style of things.
What else should we expect this offseason? By the way, in a very limited offseason?
Oh, it's crazy. They're talking about free agency going on at the same time as training camp, which is just bizarre. So you're going to sign a free agent and they show up for training camp the next day. It's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen in pro sports, honestly. I don't really know. I would be surprised if Derek Favors gets re-signed. I think you have to go push him. I don't think he's going to be worth the money that they want. I think the Drew Holiday trading is the biggest storyline to watch. Is whether or not they give him up will give a very clear indication of where this team wants to go right now. If they expect to be a playoff team right now, if they think they have enough talent and, now a win now type of coach, then I don't think you trade Drew Holiday. But otherwise, I think you can get a decent amount of assets back for him. I think you can kind of build this thing around Zion completely and Brandon Ingram, get their numbers up, get them into position where they're playing well but not necessarily competing at the top of the West, and hope to, build enough assets to move forward and surround them with more talent. But that's the biggest key to this offseason. It's going to be what they do with Drew, because the rest of it, is all kind of, moving kind of deck chairs around Titanic. I mean, the West is brutal. Yeah. And otherwise you're just trying to figure it out.
Did you get complimented for your shoes today?
I had not. I didn't get any compliments for I had a nice window in the background. There were squirrels running around. Nobody said a word. Will Guillory really went up to me in the fashion game.
I only, because we were like 20 minutes before air, I was just following along on Twitter, and I saw Will Guillory got a big shout out for his shoes. How did that all go down?
I mean, he was, and he asked Stan a question. He's the reporter, covers Pelicans for The Athletic, and he's got his little shoe rack behind him with a whole bunch of shoes. And Stan was like, well, before I answer that question, what a fantastic set of shoes you got there.
Well,
I was like, man, I got to go show Stan my artwork. I don't know what I got to go do. I got to get some attention over here.
Whatever you got to do, man. Maybe a Le Batard show logo behind you, because he goes on Le Batard all the time from the time he was in Miami. That could help.
Yeah, apparently he's a big West Wing guy, so I got to get him in on that. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get in. I think he will be a really interesting person for the media and for fans. I think we'll connect with him pretty well when it comes to honesty, integrity, that kind of stuff. That is, a lot of coaches are really boring, especially in the NBA. They kind of sink into the background. He is most certainly not someone who sinks into the background.
We literally had a bit on this show where we put a moratorium on Alvin Gentry audio. We would not play.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That was the bit.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
fantastic. Once you turn the microphone off. Yeah, when you turn the microphone off, he's amazing. But he knows when that microphone's on, it says nothing.
Well, we will hopefully have more to talk about with Stan Van Gundy, and hopefully plenty wins for the Pels. New head coach introduced today in New Orleans. He is Scott Kushner, the Advocate, on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Give him a follow. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Be well. It is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Now, got a quick break. Mikie Mahtook is set to join us next. Game 6 of the World Series is tonight. We'll get to that bottom of the hour. Some new college football bowl projections, and I have to talk about what happened in Wisconsin today. They're down to their 4th quarterback now because of the lunacy that is Big Ten COVID policy. Some of you aren't going to like what I have to say. Fair warning. So you may not want to be here in 17 minutes, although you are the exact people who need to be here in 17 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers Nicholson. Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bars, sports on TV. Did I mention Game 6 of the World Series tonight? Yep. Could very well have a World Series champion crowned. Where are you going to watch? Not at your home, are you? Get out. Go to Pluckers. Nicholson just south the campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Every Tuesday, kids eat free. So if you want to bring the kiddos out to Pluckers tonight, at least for the beginning of the game, first pitch is at 7:08 p.m., get on by Pluckers. You can eat affordably. The kids eat free on Tuesday nights. You can watch maybe the first 3 innings of the game before you take it to the house with the family. it's at Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 68 50-inch flat screens at the Bluebonnet location. It's incredible when you think about the amount of TVs they have in that place. It's at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a 2020 Camry LE with 0% for 6 years or for $22,890. Hurry in, they won't last long. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to LA Contract.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, one of two things will happen tonight. Either the Dodgers will win their first World Series in more than 30 years, or the Rays will force a Game 7. Mikie Mahtook, drafted by the Rays, now with the Phillies organization. Good enough to join us as he did a week ago. Mikie, how are you, man?
I'm good, Matt. How are you, man?
So, really well. When we spoke last week, your feeling was Rays would take this. Here we are 7 days later. Dodgers a game away from winning it. What has been your impression so far of the World Series?
It's been unbelievably fun to watch. I think both teams they've kind of played the way that people expect. They're going to play a lot of homers, a lot of good pitching, a lot of defense. But it's been really, really fun, especially the Rays walk-off a couple of games ago. So I think it's pretty lived up to the expectations.
Yeah, man, I was at Don Juan on Saturday for Whiskey and Wine after the LSU football game, and watched the walk-off on Saturday. Place went nuts. It was pretty cool to see. Has anything surprised you so far through 5 games?
Well, I think the big surprise is obviously Kershaw. He's pitching like regular season Kershaw, not postseason Kershaw. I think that's been the difference so far. I think his last 2 starts have been really good, and I think that's I don't think people really expected that, which is kind of weird to say because he's so good in the regular season.
Right. Do you think that it's not just in this series, it's been in this postseason where he's looked more like the regular season version of himself. Do you think that regardless of what happens tonight or in a potential Game 7, that he has rid himself of that stigma?
I think so, but I think that to really completely rid it from the critics who are a little more stubborn than I am, I think he has to go out there and win. They have to win. I think that's kind of been the thing. I think it's going to help. I think this postseason is going to help, but then, you have the naysayers out there that are a little bit more stubborn than I am. But I think it's done a lot to, rid him of that stigma.
Do you think players, like when you're in a locker room, right, do players talk about Kershaw in that same way that fans and media do, that, man, he's so good, but what goes on in the postseason? Or do you all see it through a different lens?
Me personally, and the guys that I've played with and talked to, they see it through a different lens. Obviously, I think it's not like he has a 6 ERA in the postseason. He has a 4.1, which isn't great, but it's also not the worst postseason ERA. So I think guys are just more chalking up more to just kind of a fluke thing. I know it's been game after game, but I think that me in particular, and I think the guys that I've played with, we look at it as more of just a fluke kind of thing. And if you had to face Kershaw in the postseason, we're not going to take that lightly.
Mikie Mahtook's our guest. He's on Twitter at Mikie Mahtook 8. 9 Dodgers have hit homers in this World Series. That is a World Series record. What do you think about this Dodgers lineup tonight? Some are saying, is it the best lineup we've ever seen in the postseason? What do you think about this lineup here tonight?
Man, they're impressive. Obviously, they're everybody in the lineup right now that's going to be in the lineup tonight is you would consider, kind of hot and kind of feeling it. So I think everybody's got hot at the right time, and it makes the lineup a lot better. But, as far as best lineup we've ever seen, that's a very bold statement. But they have been very successful, and they've been very consistent, which is the key.
On the flip side, how do you think the Rays lineup tonight fares against what they're going to see from the Dodgers, which kind of resembles a midweek SEC pitching strategy?
Yeah, I think, for me, I think the Rays lineup and the guys they have there and just kind of their mindset through the postseason, I think they're just going to keep pushing. I think that, they're going to grind out at bats. They're going to make you throw strikes. Like Brasso had a bat, I guess, yesterday, the game before that, where he fouled off 3 or 4 pitches, ended up drawing a walk, and it's just they're not going to give you really many easy outs. And you could be up 2, up 3, up 4 off of them, and they're still going to keep coming, and something's going to happen, and they're going to make a play. And I think they win tonight, but I think it's going to be a tight game.
Wait, you think the Dodgers win tonight or the Rays win tonight?
No, I think the Rays win tonight. I picked them in 7, so I can't go against it.
You did.
But I was the first couple games. I was kind of second guessing my pick, and then they bailed me out.
Hey, bro, let's get real. Not the first couple games. Like halfway through the first game, you texted me like, "Can I change my pick?" Which no, you can't. But what do you think about Snell tonight against the Dodgers?
Oh man, I think he's gonna have his best game of the postseason. I really do. I think that I played with Blake Snell. I got to kind of see the way he works. He's about as laid back as they come until he gets on the mound. And he's super, super competitive, and he's got unbelievable stuff. So I think he's gonna go out there. I think the Rays may let him go a little bit longer. I know that goes against everything that they've done so far in the postseason, not letting their starters go super deep, but I think if he's showing himself in the 5th and the 6th, I think they're going to ride him out, and I think he's going to have a really good game.
Okay, flip it over. From a hitter's standpoint, what would it be like facing what the Rays offensively are going to face from the Dodgers tonight with that type of approach?
Well, it's hard because you can't really get comfortable. You know, you're facing a whole bunch of different things, and you're not going to be able to see guys for multiple times, and it makes it really hard because it's different arm angles, different release points, different timing. It's hard to get comfortable. I think that the Rays need to get out to a fast start. I think they need to score a few runs early to kind of ease the burden of trying to score so many runs off of so many different guys.
This might sound like a stupid question, and maybe it is a stupid question, but who has more pressure tonight? The Dodgers to finish it or the Rays to force a Game 7?
I think the Dodgers to finish it have the most pressure because they've been here 3 of the last 4 years. They haven't won one. They've come so close so many times, and they're supposed to win it. Everybody before COVID happened, going into spring training, everybody thought the Dodgers were going to win the World Series, and here they are, and they're playing the Rays, and the Rays are the team that, hey, they're fun and they're cool to watch, and you know they do everything the right way, but they have a small payroll, but they're not supposed to be here, but they are, and I think that takes a little pressure off of them. I think you can just go in there and say, you know what, we're not supposed to be this team, we're not supposed to win, but I think that kind of gives them the edge, and the Dodgers have a little bit more pressure on them.
All right, how do you see tonight going?
I see the Rays win. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think they're going to the Rays are going to have a big hit in like the 7th or 8th inning and kind of go ahead and close it out.
So you're still hanging on to Rays in 7.
I am hanging on to Rays in 7. But I'll tell you what I do want to see. I want to see them get to Game 7 so that we can see Walker Buehler and Charlie Morton Game 7 because that would be awesome.
While I agree with you, I don't know how you would go against Walker Buehler in a Game 7.
Hey, but Morton's on the mound. He's done it. He's pitched in the World Series, won the World Series before. I think it's, that's how you go against him is you have a guy who's nasty and that's won it before and knows what to do.
Which guy would you rather have pitching for your team in a Game 7? Walker Buehler or Charlie Morton?
Putting all this pressure on me. Honestly, to be completely honest, I think I'd rather Charlie Morton right now. I really do. I know Walker Buehler is the young fireballer. He's got all the great stuff, but I mean, Charlie Morton throws 96, 97 mile-an-hour sinkers, and he's got the experience.
Hey, Mikey, you can have Morton. I'll take Buehler.
All right. Hopefully we get to Game 7 so that we can see how that one pans out.
I would love to see it, man. I'll certainly take a Game 7 in any sport any day. Mikie Mahtook, former Tiger, now with the Phillies organization. Good enough to join us here during this postseason run. Appreciate it, man. Have a great evening. Enjoy Game 6, all right?
All right, man. Appreciate it, man.
I mean, we'll see you. That is Mikie Mahtook. This is After Further Review, brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. 33 minutes. They're open for another 33 minutes. Call our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Actually, I always text Adam and Jay on Tuesdays. I'm like, hey, send me some testimonials if you got them. And when we were doing the interview with Mikey, Adam just texted me, said, Matt, I actually just finished one 5 minutes ago. Wrote a couple. They watch AFR every day. Rick and Willa. Shout out Rick and Willa. They were with State Farm for as long as they can remember. 40 years plus. Saved them $2,200 annually and lowered their hurricane deductible, get ready for it, from $15,000 to $2,500. Do you understand? Especially now, this is going to be so relevant for people with Laura and Delta and now Zeta coming. Lowered their hurricane deductible from $15,000 to $2,500 and saved them $2,200 annually. Better coverage, less money. Do like Rick and Willa did. Don't just assume that you got great coverage because you've been with that company forever. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. All right, Muso slid in here. Brain. Where's Brain going, Muso? Did he quit?
No, basketball today.
Basketball. Poor kids.
Have they won yet?
I would actually, I think you're asking the wrong question.
Huh.
The question should be, have they scored yet?
Oh, ooh. Ugh. Is that kind of day, is it?
Coach Brain, stay hot. Got some new bowl projections out. You know what I'm pulling for. Give you some updated bowl projections, and I'm going to talk about the thing that I've been aching to talk about all day, which is what's going on at Wisconsin, and the bigger picture is what's going on in the Big Ten. If you've not heard yet, we will delve into that. Yet, there are some of you who are not going to like what I have to say. That's okay. But the ones who aren't going to like what I have to say are exactly the people who need to hear what I'm about to say. So stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. Of course, you know about the Mayo Clinic up there in Minneapolis, one of the foremost medical centers in the entire world. And with the Baton Rouge General being part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, what that means is your physician here in Baton Rouge can consult with the award-winning physicians and specialists there at the Mayo Clinic, and your physician here can have access to their world-renowned research at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. It's improving and expanding healthcare in the greater Baton Rouge area. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. You can learn more at the website at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. And if you've not done so yet, download the Baton Rouge General mobile app. You can get their express care locations. They even have wait times. So if you need to get into an express care location, they got you. The Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So I got to talk about this Wisconsin quarterback who's going to be out for almost a month because of COVID. Muso asked me, another red-faced rant? Like, no. At least that's not my intention. It won't start that way.
Do it. Give the people what they want.
May end up that
Do
way.
it.
Musa was like, are you going to do the bowl projections first? I was like, should probably get the bowl projections out of the way first because I know how this is going to go. It's going to devolve and I'm going to yell. And there'll be people on Twitter who are like celebrating me, like, yeah, get him, Matt. And there'll be other people who are like, you hate people and you want everybody to die and you have no soul. And I'll just be like, I'm just sweating. That's how it's going to go. I mean, my wife's going to text me, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Self-awareness, it matters, people. It's a major part of success in life. Anyway, new bowl projections out from USA Today, although I hesitate to even reference anything from USA Today because of what they did a day ago, patently absurd. They took a story that Glenn Gilbert wrote, which, by the way, it's a very good story by Glenn, about TJ Finley and how he committed himself over the offseason to losing 25 pounds and getting himself in great shape and ready for what happened this year. And the people over at USA Today decided to write a headline. Here it is right here. This is the headline. QB loses 25 pounds with COVID, then leads LSU to defeat of South Carolina. That's my problem, right? You read that and you think Finley lost 25 pounds because he had COVID. That's what you think when you read the headline. But that's what happens when you're a jackass and you are a salacious headline writer. And you want to deceive your audience with the intention of pushing forth an agenda and getting clicks. See, I'm already doing it, Musso. I was supposed to do bowl projections. You see what happened?
You want to move it to the next segment?
I am incapable because people have lost their bleeping minds. Anyway, Bama and the Sugar against Ohio State. Clemson against Oregon, Oregon. Can't break. Clemson, Ohio State in the Rose. So national championship game, Bama, Ohio State. They got Florida in the peach, Georgia in the orange, Auburn in the gator, South Carolina in the Birmingham, LSU against Purdue in the Outback Bowl. That's a worst case scenario. A boring Big Ten team at 10 a.m. in the Outback Bowl. Puke. Gag me with a sweaty tube sock. Who wants any part of that? You know what I want? I want to be Kentucky. Because they got Kentucky playing Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
They got Kentucky playing Utah at beautiful Allegiant Stadium.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
They got Kentucky playing Utah out in the City of Lights.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
They got Kentucky fans heading out to Vegas to party on the Strip.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
They got Kentucky fans going out west to live it up in the casinos.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
They got Kentucky fans going out to Vegas to hang out at, I don't know, maybe the Encore Beach Club pool party.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
I'm envious of Kentucky football fans if this plays out. And I'm going to tell you, it can't stand, folks. Cannot stand. I need you all. I need you LSU fans. I need you to go flood the Twitter of the Las Vegas Bowl and beg them to lobby on LSU's behalf. Let me ask you, LSU fans, would you rather see your team play a Pac-12, a Power 5 Pac-12 opponent in beautiful new Allegiant Stadium out in Las Vegas, where even if you don't go, you still get a better opponent, a better slot, beautiful stadium, Vegas, all that stuff? Or would you rather Purdue at 10 a.m. on New Year's Day in the Outback Bowl?
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Damn right. Okay. Here we go, Moose. You ready? So by now you might have heard that was... Why are you laughing? I'm trying to be tempered here. I'm trying to be rational. I don't need you laughing at me over there. By now, you've probably heard that Wisconsin quarterback Graham Mertz, M-E-R-T-Z, has tested positive for COVID-19. His positive test has been confirmed, and he will be out for a minimum of 21 days. You see, Big Ten policy requires that any player who tests positive for COVID-19 must miss at least 21 days and undergo cardiac screening before being cleared to return. Which means Wisconsin could very well be down to its fourth-string quarterback Saturday at Nebraska, because third-string quarterback Chase Wolf has also tested positive for COVID-19. Their presumed starter, Jack Cohn, had a foot injury in preseason practice, and he is out for an indefinite amount of time, which means redshirt junior Danny Vandenboom is expected to make his first career start against Nebraska. So, after Nebraska, Wisconsin's set to host Purdue and then visit number 13 Michigan. I feel very badly for this kid. Graham Mertz. I feel badly for Wisconsin coaches. I feel badly for every Wisconsin fan. You want to know why? Because the same people that are going to stand up and applaud this policy by the Big Ten, 21 days if you test positive, yada, yada. The same people that are going to stand up and applaud that policy are the same people that are going to tell you, listen to the doctors. That's those people. Okay. Tough guy. Let's talk about what the doctors think. The Center for Disease Control. Pretty reputable, right? Isn't that who we all source on this? The CDC, right? The Center for Disease Control. The epicenter of the medical community formatting a plan to combat this virus. Their recommendation, if you test positive for COVID-19, is that once 10 days have passed since symptoms first presented, you can start being around people again. Again, not 10 days after you test negative, not 10 days after your worst symptoms, 10 days after symptoms first present themselves, you can be around people again. That's not me. That's not a witch doctor. That's not Dr. Seuss. That's not Dr. Huxtable. That's the CDC, the same doctors that you keep wanting to cite. 10 days after symptoms present. Get this. Graham Mertz has no symptoms. So I got a good idea. Might be wild according to some of you out there who think this 21-day thing is really good. Like this loser on Twitter. Christ almighty, doesn't even put his real name. ACC Biggs with a Z. Conference makes singular rule to help ensure health and safety of players. Random jackass media member. Absurd. Because I said this was absurd. Hey, ACC Biggs and all you other losers who can't get this through your skull. The CDC says 10 days after symptoms present, you're good. The Big Ten says, 21 days. Health screening, heart screening, all this other stuff. Many of you know my son has a heart condition. We go see the cardiologist every 3 months. We were there the last time, and he told us there's this other family who their child basically had to go 6 months, and things were going well, and so then they shortened that. That's typically how it goes to 3 months. And the mother said, oh, no, we're coming back in 3 months. I'm sorry, 3 months to 6 months, right? So you coming every 3 months, he's doing good. Let's wait. Let's span it out to 6 months. No, we'll be back in 3 months. The doctor told you it's okay to wait 6 months. What's your problem? It's like if you're trying not to have a kid, you don't need to wear a chastity belt. There are other ways to prevent that from happening. You know what I mean? Some things are extreme. 21 days? That's extreme. The CDC said 10 days from the time symptoms first present. You're going to make this kid wait 21 days? It's an 8-week season in the Big Ten. That's almost half of their season this kid's going to miss because of your stupid rule, which doesn't make no sense. There is no scientific basis behind what they're doing. And some of you are like, oh, this is a Big Ten. Health and safety, that's what they're after. So the CDC doesn't really care about health and safety? Or you're just a loon. I feel so bad for this kid, man. You work so hard. You find, like, first they try to cancel your season. Now you're going to have it. Now these loony rules are going to keep you from playing almost half the season. I feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the coaches, the families of the coaches. They're going to have to deal with all this. I mean, what if Wisconsin isn't able to go play a game this week against Nebraska or any of the next 3 weeks? What are they going to, no contest? What do the doctors say? Listen to the doctors. Let's hear. Listen to the doctors. You mean the doctors at the CDC who said 10 days from the time symptoms present, you're good? Back at it? Oh, nailed it. Y'all, the only thing I ask, you don't have to agree with me. And I get not everybody will. But the only thing I ask is try to use some common sense. Like that's the disconnect for me. It's the lack of common sense. Like we have enough information about this now to understand more than we did a month ago or 7 months ago or a year ago. We understand who it affects and who it doesn't. And please spare me well, then my 80-year-old grandma, I can't go. Then maybe it's best you don't go around your 80-year-old grandma for a bit. Or ask her opinion. Because she might say, I'm 80, lived, I'm good. CDC says 10 days from the time symptoms present. You're good to go around people again. But the Big Ten says, no. 21 days and a heart exam. And you got to stand on your head for 20 seconds while balancing a plate on your foot. If you can't do that, proves you got COVID. Please just use common sense. Like, let's think about what we're doing collectively. And if you do, some of this stuff will crystallize. I'm okay with taking precautions, but some things are absurd. This is absurd. What do you think, Moose? Too much? Not enough? Probably about what you thought?
Healthy medium.
Yeah.
You towed the line a little bit there, but you composed yourself.
Okay. We'll do Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at, on their Facebook page. Go to the website, but really it's Segan. I said 18 locations, didn't I? There's not 18. There's 4. 18 is Shawbills. My bad. I'm still thinking about Graham Mertz. Poor kid. 4 locations of Clegg's in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. And no doubt, some of those are really near Clegg's or Shawbills locations. I digress. Clegg's Nursery, we're moving into the fall. Fall and into winter is actually the best time to plant trees and shrubs, believe it or not. So this is a great time right now to get by Clegg's, buy those plants or trees or shrubs and plant. You want to add that fall color to your flower beds and your patio pots. It's a great time to do it right now at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. All of your fall decor as well. It's Clegg's Nursery for more than 60 years. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies. Let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Methern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front-to-Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA-certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front-to-Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2640.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Rohan Davey set to be in studio with us here in 9 minutes from right now. Right now, though, Muso. Tigers in the pros. I presume you have
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
Got here late, you know.
Coach Brain set him up for him before he headed out. Yeah. Michael Brockers, 7 tackles last night for the Rams in their 24-10 victory over the Bears. 3 solo tackles for Brockers. He also had a hit on Nick Foles.
Yeah, he did.
Arkevius Mingo on the other side of the sideline.
Uniforms are awful, by the way. The Rams uniforms.
Oh, they're not good.
It's terrible.
Not good. The Rams should have never changed their uniform. It was fine the way it was. And
I agree.
I don't know what they're thinking. Arkevius Mingo plays for the Bears. He was on the losing end of last night's game, but did record 5 tackles, 4 of them solo, and also registered 2 tackles for loss for Kiki Mingo. And this story has a lot of local flair to it. Eric Reed might be on the football team soon. Not a football team, the football team.
The Washington football team.
Correct.
Got it.
Landon Collins has a torn Achilles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he's out for the season.
Wow. And they went to Dutchtown together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Washington shopping for a safety. ESPN reporting that Reed is being considered.
You ever see Reed's workout videos on Instagram or anything? He's so swole.
I can't say that I have. I might have to go look those up then.
He's an incredible specimen.
ESPN says the decision will come down to cost. However, it is worth noting that Reed has played for Ron Rivera before with the Panthers. The Washington football team is 2-5, and they're a half game behind the 2-4 and 1 Philadelphia Eagles. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Oh, you didn't get anything from Caligai?
Well, you're right. I didn't, and neither did Coach Brain. He did this. I didn't.
What was the last one you had?
Eric Reed.
Well, that was the last story?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh.
That was it.
I hope Eric Reed gets
We
a
only had a
gig.
game last night.
And Washington, by the way, first place.
Yeah. Well, no, they're half game behind.
Behind who?
The Philadelphia Eagles at 2-4-1. The Philadelphia Eagles. That tie's getting.
The tie got them.
Yeah. One of the rare cases a tie works in your favor currently for the Eagles, who are not good.
Okay. All right, Tigers and the Pros presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's best hemp. That's Lewis Coleman's company. Y'all check it out. If you wake up in the morning, maybe you got little aches and pains, hemp is a great way. CBD is a great way to deal with inflammation. It's also a great way to help you sleep at night. So if you struggle falling asleep or staying asleep and you've tried everything and you don't want to try prescription medicine, this is an all-natural way that could help you get more restful sleep. Look, a lot of people who struggle with anxiety, they turn to CBD oil or gummies or the honey sticks or the salve or the cream. They got so many different ways that that you can administer. It's fantastic. Capsules as well. Go to the website at KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Use the promo code AFR30, and save 30% off your order at Kentucky's Best Hemp. All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Rohan Davey in studio with us to start hour 3. Got to get Ro's thoughts now with the benefit of a couple of days hindsight on what we saw on Saturday with TJ Finley and how they managed the Finley-Brennan situation moving forward. This is something that Ro knows an awful lot about, being a backup that played exceptionally well, and then the on-again, off-again nature of a quarterback competition. Rohan Davey in studio with us to start hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If you remember nothing else that I say, I just want you to remember this. When I talked to Brandon Holly, he's told me this so many times over the years. He'll say, Matt, we want to make everybody happy, but it's just not possible. Like sometimes you're human and you're going to make mistakes. He said, but when people call us to complain, I actually get really excited because that's when we can show who we are as a company. Brandon Holly and his team, they will go to the end of the earth to make sure you are thrilled with the work that they do. They want to make sure that you are thrilled with the product, the customer service, your entire experience. It's Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. That's why they consistently win ethics awards. Of course, Angie's List. If it's the Better Business Bureau, the Torch Award for Ethics in Business. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Check them out online or at their showroom. It's ReliefWindows.com.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Callahan Injury Lawyer.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A champion could be crowned on the baseball diamond tonight. Dodgers will claim their first World Series title since 1988 with a victory in Game 6 against the Rays. 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, none too pleased when asked today on his weekly radio show if his 2-5 team has a leadership void. Jones, testy on 105.3 The Fan, curtly answered no, there is no leadership void in his eyes. ESPN's Jeff Saturday, though, begs to differ.
It feels like 53 guys have 53 agendas, right? There's no team yet. There's no chemistry yet. Mike McCarthy came in again. He's trying to build culture in this locker room. But I disagree with Jerry right here. I mean, this is a leadership void from the top down.
Bears coach Matt Nagy said today he does not intend to give up play calling duties or go back to quarterback Mitchell Trubisky after last night's loss to the Rams. Florida's football program reporting 6 new positive tests for the coronavirus in the past week. The team's total this month currently 37. Gators returned to practice yesterday following a 2-week hiatus because of a COVID-19 outbreak. 10th-ranked Florida slated to host Mizzou on Saturday.
Coming up Wednesday, the lone unbeaten team is getting very little attention in the NFL. So does boring equal good? We'll ask that Wednesday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You suck. And Mr. Toby Topley. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Tuesday, hour 3 means we visit with former LSU quarterback Rohan Davey.
Rohan Davey.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
It's now time to talk LSU football with former Tiger quarterback Rohan Davey. Presented by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. If it's on the lot, it's online at SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Rohan, you ever seen a woman letting her concealer bake?
Yeah.
That still gets you every time. How are you, man?
What's happening? What's happening? I'm good, man. What's going on?
Another day, man. So we obviously have a lot to get into, and you are sort of in a rare position, having lived through what LSU feels like they are about to experience, that you're going to be able to lend a perspective that not many people have. Let's go back before we look at what might be ahead. Saturday, TJ Finley made his first start. What were your impressions?
I thought he looked good.
he played well. I thought the stage never looked too big for him. The coaches did a really good job of.
Hey, wait, Ro. I'm sorry. Hang on one second, man. I'm having trouble hearing you. Musa, do me a favor. Call him. Just call him right back. See if we get on a different cell. I don't know if it sounded the same way on air that it sounded in my headphones, but it was very, very thin and kind of tinny there, almost like it was really distorted. So we'll get Ro back. Remember, of course, in 2000, Rohan and Josh Booty kind of had that back and forth where Josh was playing, they lose to UAB, Ro comes in, they beat Tennessee. It was an on-again, off-again thing. Okay, let's try again here. All right, Ro, sorry about that, man. I was asking, we just had a bad connection there. I was asking your impressions of TJ Finley.
Yeah, I thought he played good. I thought the coaches did a good job of calling the plays to get him slowly integrated into the game and take the nerves off of running it so much in the first 16 plays. But the stage never looked too big for him, man. He looked poised. He looked composed. He was accurate with the football, I think, for his first time out. I think he did a fantastic job of executing the game plan.
What in particular really impressed you about Finley? A play, a throw, a moment, anything like that?
Well, the throw across the 15-yard in cut that he threw to number 10, coming in and the way he, went from 1 to 2 to 3, but never having to get to 3 as far as like going through his progressions and letting the ball go on that play, man, and hitting the guy in stride well before he got into the window of where he was supposed to get to. He let it go. He saw he trusted and he let it go. But that was one play. I'll be honest with you, the interception was a play where I was like, wow, he thought of that. Just because he saw the cornerback high and saw that on the go route that the receiver wasn't going to get on top. So he tried to back shoulder it. And there was a miscommunication between both of those guys. Him trying to back shoulder and the wide receiver, continuing to run up the field. But it showed that he was thinking about what he was doing. He wasn't just out there winging it and throwing the ball around. He was actually going through the game plan, executing the game plan, and executing at a high level. So it was those things. But his poise was the thing that, he got settled into that game really quick. And like I said, hats off to the coaches for that, but hats off to him as well for executing that game plan.
When did you feel comfortable, like to where you could say you were comfortable and poised? At what point in your career?
For me, it just depends on how well or how much I've had to practice or how much of the game plan that I was actually, asked to run in practice or do in practice. So, for me, it wasn't like, say, a game or a particular time, because any time that I was able to go in or had time to execute a game plan and know exactly what we was doing, I felt comfortable. But anytime you had to go in and, you coming off the bench or you didn't practice at all that week and you only have, like, say, 11 or 12 favorite plays that you picked out, and that's when, it's that you're nervous about playing. But other than that, no, I was fine.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about what LSU does moving forward with the quarterbacks, but let me get to some other things right now. Why was the offensive line so much better on Saturday than they had been?
Well, I think it too was having a clear and concise game plan as well. Getting Ed Ingram back definitely helped. The interior, like you pointed out, those guys play well, center and guard. Well, but I think having those guys knowing that, hey, we're going to run the football. Coach Ed Orgeron and Ensman are putting, letting those guys know and putting us onus on them for them to go ahead and execute, and knowing that we're going to help the young quarterback. So I think all of that was motivation for them, and definitely getting Ed Ingram back. But I think them knowing also that, hey, this is what we're doing on offense. It's on us. We really are going to run the game. Going to run the ball this week. So I think they all were just in tune with the change of what they were going to do offensively.
Certainly running the football was a gigantic part of that. John Emery was kind of the bell cow from the beginning. What did you see from Emery and Ty Davis-Price on Saturday?
Well, you saw that they was on a one-cut stretch, find your hole, and then get downhill. I don't know if that was stressed a lot during the week or going into the game, but those guys definitely had that one-cut mentality of making that first guy miss, and I'm sure they always do. But you didn't see a lot of the hesitation and the jittery was see the hole, hit the hole, get through the hole. So I thought Emory just continues to show and continues to kind of separate himself from the other guys. And I think once they get to where TJ or whoever the quarterback is, Miles, whoever it is now they ascend to the other phase of it where he's now a little bit used a little bit more in the passing game. So I think that that's the way he's separated himself, and he's picking up the blitz now, so it helps. He's definitely come on since last year.
Rohan Davey's with us. I also wanted to ask you about Terrace Marshall because he just continues to dominate, man. 2 more touchdowns on Saturday, even when everyone knows he's getting the ball. Why is it that even when everyone knows LSU is trying to pump him the ball, he's able to continue making plays?
Well, I think it just shows that he is a number one receiver. I think that he's really been one of those guys that's stepped up to the forefront and wants to be a leader and wants to say, hey, look at me, especially with the young guys that's at quarterback. Like, hey, I could be that security blanket that you thought Jamar was going to be. I could be that same guy. And I think that, for him, I think a lot of people underestimate his speed and how physical he is once he gets away from the line of scrimmage. And he's a tall order, man. He's a very, 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 very hard guy to cover with his size and his strength. So I think that that's all part of it. And then, too, when you have the younger guys coming along and you have a Gilbert and you have a Booty and those guys and Racy and those guys, that they're also, have the same ability to make plays and to catch the ball. Probably definitely not as good as Marshall, but when you have those guys and they can also hurt you, then it puts a stress on the defense as to okay, we know it's going to Marshall, but okay, now they're throwing it to Gilbert, now they're throwing it to 4, now they're throwing it to 17, now they're throwing it to 1, now they're throwing it to 14, now they're throwing it to 13. So it's like what we do, and then eventually Marshall's going to get his. Once he gets 20 on in, it's kind of his time.
So after Marshall, who do you think is next? Because we've seen them spread the ball around. Who do you think is the next guy?
Yeah, I honestly think it's Gilbert. I think it's Gilbert now. You've seen a little bit of the younger guys hit in spurts, you know what I mean? You've seen Kirkland early. But you see all those guys hit in spurts. I think that the next guy is Gilbert. That's who I think that they made made an effort to get the ball to in matchup problems in that 3-by-1 set and that 3-by-0 set. So I think he's the next guy, and I think that everybody else is just, on any given day, I think any one of those other guys could have a huge day.
Rohan Davey's with us, former LSU quarterback, joins us every Tuesday. Chat's brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. All right, Rose, sit tight, man. I want to come back and I want to talk about the obvious, which is, do you have a quarterback controversy? Something you've lived through. We'll get to that with Ro when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onehourbr.com. I've told you so many of my stories throughout the years, like on Easter Sunday a few years back, woke up and we actually came home from our Easter celebration and it was hot in the house. Easter Sunday night, we had a River City's 1 Hour Air technician at our home. A couple of weeks ago, it was also a Sunday, and our AC was out. River City's 1 Hour Air came out to the house. Bottom line is, when you call River City's 1 Hour Air, they work nights, holidays, weekends, and they never charge you extra to come out. And they do spectacular work. They make sure that they diagnose fully the issue and let you know what's happening and all the different options you have to fix it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001. Read the reviews. Read what your friends and neighbors have to say. And then call 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air.
From the makers of Blue Moon comes Light Sky. An extraordinary citrus sweet brewed with real tangerine peel, only 95 calories. Welcome to the light side of the moon.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. Do you love doing something? Don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we're continuing with former LSU quarterback Rohan Davey. Visits with us every Tuesday, courtesy of South Point Volkswagen, southpointbw.com. All right, Ro, let's delve into what is the obvious question that everyone's asking, even if Ed Ogeron doesn't want to talk about it, and that's the possibility of a brewing quarterback controversy. Let me just leave it kind of open-ended with your thoughts on that possibility with Finley and Miles Brennan when he returns.
Well, it don't look like he's going to return this week. All right, so now it's whenever he returns. But my thing is, what you have to do and what I feel you have to do, they always say no one loses their job to injury. Well, that's not true. Guys lose their jobs to injuries all the time. If the guy that goes in is playing better and the team's, the chemistry or whatever, sometimes you don't want to interrupt that. Miles was playing well and Miles was ascending. Every week he was getting better. You just put a true freshman in to execute a game plan, and he went out and did a phenomenal job. Now, what you have to do now is you have to see what you have in him going into this second week. You have to see if you have something special. And special is the key word. You got to see, is TJ Finley the next one up? And the only way to find that out with him being a freshman is for now the next opponent to now have seen him on film, to now could game plan for him as opposed to South Carolina have not ever seen him on film and just going off of what they think of him and what they've seen of him in high school. So now if he can do it again with, even if it's with some growing pains, because it is an SEC team and it is the SEC that you play in, and you are a true freshman, but if you can somehow execute the game plan again to the same success rate or even close to the same success rate as you had against South Carolina and come out of that game with a victory, and you've gone through a battle-tested team such as Auburn, well, and you come out with a victory, well, now you know you might have something in a young true freshman to start this thing at the quarterback position here at LSU and have that now going steady. Because in my opinion, for a couple of reasons why we lost and haven't been in the thick of things is because the position hasn't been developed, or you haven't had guys in there long enough to develop them at the position until it's either time for them to go or they transfer out. So it's more than just, getting Miles back in the game. It's you have to really see what you have in him going into this second game with him now being on film and those guys having a chance to prepare for him.
All right, so you did not rule out the possibility of Finley becoming the guy, which I'm in the same boat as you.
Nah.
We're gonna walk there in a minute. Go back, if you would, to 2000. You went through this. You went through this with you and Josh. What was that like going through it for the quarterbacks?
It was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking. It was a lot of tension. It was always the elephant in the room, every room. You know what I mean? During the week, whoever, even if you were just having a damn lunch or whatever with your friends or teammates, is like, man, so you think you're going to start? Or you think that other boy going to start? You know what I mean? It's always that. So it takes a lot, man, and you just got to try to stay focused and try to focus on what the real objective is, and that's really just going out and playing the best football that you can and winning the football game. But it's nerve-wracking, man. It is nerve-wracking, and that's why I say it's better to know than not knowing. You know what I mean? It's better for those guys to know, hey, he's the guy and I'm not the guy, and the team especially to know, like, okay, this is what we got. This is how we rolling.
Okay, so it's better for everybody to know. If you're the coaching staff, so there's one of two things that's going to happen on Saturday, Ro, and I think you and I agree that it's unlikely Brennan plays. If Ed says he's not going to play till he's 100%, well, he ain't going to be 100% this weekend. So if Brennan doesn't play, one of two things happens. Finley plays really well, or he doesn't play really well. And depending on that answer, we'll know what happens 2 weeks later against Bama, when Brennan very likely returns. So let's assume Finley does play really well, and they do go on the road and win. Then what do you do?
He's my starter going into Alabama.
Finley.
Yep.
Why?
Because he did it 2 weeks in a row. Because I now feel like after him doing it 2 weeks in a row on against a quality opponent, I now feel like I may possibly have something special and found my next quarterback.
What about the possibility?
And especially if – go ahead.
No, you go.
Especially if the team plays well, especially if the team plays well and the team continues to play well, and especially if they continue to execute at that same rate offensively. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying Miles cannot execute, because he's shown that he can after the first football game. I'm not saying Miles cannot do that. What I'm saying is there's someone in here that just, because of injury, got the opportunity to play, and he's taking full advantage of it, which is what everyone always says, be ready when that opportunity comes for you. Well, that opportunity came for him. He stepped right in and he's doing something with it. If he does that again, you don't take that opportunity away from him. Now you have two quarterbacks, but you don't take it away from him if the team is playing well, the chemistry is all there, and the kids are sending. You don't take it from him.
What about what Ed Ogeron said on Monday, which was, look, Miles is the starter, and now I know if he's not playing well, I could always go to TJ and have confidence in him.
It's the same way you could say it, flip it around and say, I know I got him. Basically, all he's saying is I got two. Why can't it be TJ's my guy? And now I know that if the freshman falters, which he hasn't, then I could go to my veteran who started out the season doing well and got injured. I mean, the argument could go either way. So, I mean, you have some coaches that don't believe that you can lose your job to injury. So Coach Ogeron must feel like you can't lose your job to injury. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't. I feel like the best person plays at the time that he plays, and I'm a quarterback, and I've gone through playing and then sharing time and then being benched and all that. You feel like it's in the betterment of the team, and then you make that decision as a head coach. But if you have chemistry with a young guy that's coming in, that's elevating, that's doing well, that the team is rallying around, and the team is doing well, I just don't know how you disrupt that.
Did you feel that way?
Because the disruption of that, you can disrupt that with him and then throw Miles out there, and then Miles does not play well, and now you try to insert the kid back in. But his confidence and everything, now he has to come back up. It's just it's a very sensitive thing when you're dealing with quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks. That figures like now, you've been told all the time all you got to do is perform and do well when your opportunity comes, and you're going to continue, to be the guy, the best player plays. Well, that's what TJ Finley is expecting. That's what everyone expects when you play. Right now, he's the best guy, and he's the best guy right now because he's the guy playing and doing well.
All right, let me ask a question that every fan has somewhere in their mind, either the forefront or in the back of their mind, which is, do you play him because you don't want him to transfer?
Do you do what?
Do you play him because you're afraid he might transfer?
Play who?
Finley.
Miles?
Finley. Or either.
I mean, it's a possibility either guy. I don't think that's going through any of their minds right now. If it's going through anybody's minds, probably Miles before I think TJ would, just because of the fact that he has time. But, you're right. These guys want to get out there and play now and show what they want, show what they can do now. I don't think that Coach Ed Ogeron could go into it with that mindset. I guess that's part of the politics of it all. And I'm sure if, we were in the running, we're still kind of sort of, I guess if we were a high favorite to, win the West or in the hunt for the playoffs or anything like that, I'm sure it'll probably factor in a little bit more, I guess, who he plays. But I didn't even think about that point, Matt, to play him just on the strength of that alone. I guess you do have to think about that and factor that in, but I wouldn't factor that in. I mean, the kid leaves, and people leave, all the guys transfer and going to portal. We see now more than ever. So, that wouldn't be in the back of my mind, but I could definitely see how that's a question.
Yeah. When you all beat Tennessee in 2000, right? So Josh is starting, team loses to UAB, you get to start a week later, you get this big win over Tennessee. But then you didn't hold the job for the rest of the year. What was that? So that would be similar to TJ, right? TJ got his chance to play. Right. He did really well. If he goes back to the bench, now you stuck it out, but like you mentioned, it's also a different era. What would that be like?
I think I felt, you go through feelings, man, where you feel like, what is it going to take? This is what I was told to do. I did it, and now I'm back on the bench. And then also you go from, you play to play at a high level, and then when you reach that high level, such as he did of playing and being successful, and then to go from that feeling and then going back to sitting on the bench, it's something, bro. It's something that you don't expect. It's something that you don't even think about at first, actually, until it happens, because all you're thinking of is, shit, I'm balling. Ain't no way I'm going back to the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or this is what I was, set here to do. And then, the things go in your mind, because then things happen where all your mistakes start getting pointed out. When you're not the starter now, or when you make the switch back to the guy that was there before, now, before you were being praised for all the great things you did and pointing out even if you won now, because you're not the guy anymore, the every little thing that you did while you were even winning is pointed out as like teaching points, whereas before they weren't. So it's just all those things put together. You're not a part of the offensive game plan anymore. You're not a part of practice anymore, hardly, unless it's like a scout team. And, you still got to bite the bullet and do your part to try to help the defense prepare and stuff like that. But it's hard. It's a hard transition going from in the mix to out of the mix.
One thing's for sure, man. 1 week from now, we'll know much, much more after LSU plays at Auburn and how it all plays out. But the good thing for LSU is you got options, which is something they have not had for a long time at quarterback. They obviously got it now.
Absolutely.
So. Rohan Davey with us every Tuesday. You the man, Ro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, boss.
Be well. All right, it's After Further Review. Rohan and all of our guests on AFR receive a gift from Dead Soxy, Dead, S-O-X-Y, deadsoxy.com. The new standard in premium dress socks. You can shop by style. Of course, they got the college line. So you go to deadsoxy.com. You tap college at the top. Of course, you pick Louisiana, and you'll see the purple and gold SKUs right there. They're ever so popular from the tiger stripe, and got some digi camo there as well. This is a really cool set that they have with the purple and gold polka dots and the stripes. Hugely popular 4-pack. If you want to check them out, deadsoxy.com, S-O-X-Y, deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code GO, that's G-E-A-U-X. Use the promo code GO and get 30% off of your order. That's even if there's already a discounted option. So you can find something that's already discounted. Use the promo code GO, and they'll knock an additional 30% off. That's at deadsoxy.com, deadsoxy.com, S-O-X-Y. The new standard in premium dress socks. It is deadsoxy.com. Check them out. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Look, I've spoken my piece on the whole thing, and I agree with Ro. If Finley goes out and plays well at Auburn, and I'm operating under the assumption that Miles Brennan is not going to play at Auburn. And I'm solely going on the fact that Dr. Chad Loop was here last week. He told us that injury is typically about a 4 to 6 week injury. There's nothing you can do for it. It's just got to heal, and it's largely a pain tolerance thing. So Ed Ogeron said today or on Monday they would not play Miles unless he's 100%. He's clearly not 100%. It's very unlikely that he would be on Saturday. So you give Finley a start. If Finley goes on the road and plays well on the road and you beat Auburn, he plays similar to what he did this past week, I don't know how you derail that momentum. You got a guy. And the other thing that I will continue to say is it's a good problem to have, but somebody's going to leave. Finley, Johnson, Brennan, somebody's going to leave. They're not all just going to stay. They don't. Nobody does. Nobody keeps all quarterbacks for all 4 or 5 years all the time. Nobody does. It happens nowhere. So somebody's going to leave. But you got to make the right decision. Go ask Kirby Smart if in hindsight he wishes he had kept Justin Fields instead of Jake Fromm. Get Kirby Smart in a candid moment and ask him that. Go get Kevin Sumlin in a candid moment and ask him about Kyler Murray. What do you think he might say today? At some point, you got to pick. Better hope you pick the right one. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James & Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Y'all listen. Remember this. Working with Darren obligates you to nothing. Hire Darren James. If at any point you're not thrilled with the service, no worries. He'll let you out of the contract free and clear, no questions asked. Also, Darren's got his Love It or Leave It program. Buy a home from Darren if within a year you have to move for whatever reason. Let's say you hate your home, whatever it may be, or you get transferred for work. Darren will sell your home for free for his half of the commission. $1 million home, $100,000 home, or this one, $490,000, 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 3,100 square foot, gorgeous Monarch Point in Springfield. Check it out at agent225.com. That is in Carter Plantation. Go check it out at agent225.com. Agent225.com. When you think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motors you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Donald Spire in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat said, I'm wondering why we, LSU, recruit so many quarterbacks. Donald, for this exact reason, man. This is why you do it. Because if you didn't recruit Finley and Johnson and Brennan gets hurt, what do? If you recruit Finley and Johnson and Brennan gets hurt and Finley falls on his face, you got the next guy. You recruit so many because you have to, because nobody stays, man. I think the Georgia situation is probably the best comparison I can give you, right? You go get a 5-star in Jacob Eason, right? He comes from across the country. He's from Washington State. He comes in, starts as a freshman. They went 7-5 that year, 8-4. First year with Kirby, with Eason starting as a freshman. It was 7-5 or 8-4. But you had this 5-star, and you're like, you know what? We're going to take our lumps with him as a freshman because we know he's going to be better for it down the road. Next year, he gets hurt in the opener. You put in the next freshman. You put in Jake Fromm. And I'll be darned. I mean, you had 2 NFL running backs, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. You had a bunch of NFL receivers. You had a freak show defense, and you ride that all the way to the national championship game where you're second and 26 in overtime away from winning the national championship. And you lose. And you have this kid on the bench, Justin Fields, and you say, you know what? We can't turn our back on Fromm. Look, the kid we started and got all the way to the championship game. And you couldn't look at what was right in front of your face, which was that one kid was special and the other was a good quarterback who functioned within what you were doing. With the benefit of hindsight, you want to ask Kirby which he would prefer now? That's why you recruit them all. You have to sign an elite quarterback in every class. And if the guy you sign is afraid of competition, then you don't want that guy anyway. I know that's cliche, but it's true. I want LSU to sign a 5-star quarterback every year. And I want a 5-star quarterback to transfer every year because it means you got a whole boatload of them lined up. What's the alternative? Anthony Jennings, Brandon Harris, Steven Rivers. I mean, is that what you want? Is that the road do you want to have arguments about if Danny Etling's a good quarterback? I'll pass, bro. Give me 11. Are you kidding me? 6'6", 240, pew, flicking his wrist, command, poise. True freshman throws a pick, just taps himself on the shoulder pad, goes to the sideline, and checks Twitter. I mean, like, he didn't care. Didn't even matter. I mean, whew. You better have that guy. I mean, look, for me, this is easy. This is basic. And this is nothing. Like, I am pumped for Miles Brennan to have gotten his shot this year. And listen, if TJ Finley goes out against Auburn and struggles, then that's your answer. You put the veteran guy back in. And if Brennan struggles, you know you can rely on Finley to go out and make plays. And then you make that decision as you go and you feel the flow of it. Man, TJ Finley goes out against Auburn on Saturday on the road and shows what he did this past weekend. This is easy. I mean, think about, even if you don't want to think about Finley this year and Brennan this year, think about Finley right now compared to Brennan in 2017 against Troy. You ain't looking at the same guy. We're comparing a true freshman who's played his first game to a guy who's in his fourth year. I mean, think about where the ceiling is, right? I'll go back to what I said earlier, man. That's not to say Brennan won't ultimately come back and play awesome and win the job and win a title. I mean, he could do all that stuff. I'm not saying punt on the guy at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is if you're considering who you have to play, this is very clear. One guy is a completely different level of prospect than the other. That's all. It's not to say both can't win. It's Jake Fromm won a lot of games at Georgia. Got an SEC championship game, playoff, all. Jake Fromm won a lot at Georgia. Never won a title. Justin Fields is going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. One's really good. One was elite. I think we're probably looking at something similar. I think Brennan's really good. Threw for 400 yards at Missouri. It was really good. Really good quarterback. Finley, I mean, you got this foundation, this ball of clay where you mold that thing, you could be looking at something special. Like, how does this, like, you look at it and you go, what did they not see when they labeled him a 3-star? Right? I mean, I'm not the guy that sits around and watches high school film all day. Like, you want like a recruiting breakdown? I'm not the guy. I don't watch high school video and tell you what I think of his release and all. Like, that ain't me. I'm not that guy. But I don't know what the recruiting experts saw when they looked at him. 6'6", 240, gigantic arm, poise. Like, what did they miss there? I mean, whew. Or maybe, and this is everything I said yesterday too, maybe LSU goes to Auburn, they start TJ Finley, and the moment's too big for him. Maybe it's the similar situation like we saw at Brandon Harris in 2014 when they went on the road. He came in relief against Mississippi State, boom, right down the field. Came in relief against New Mexico State, 5 straight scoring drives, lit it up. They give him the start at Auburn, too much. They lose 41-7. He completed 3 passes in that game, Brandon Harris did. And it was like, okay, to the bench. You're not ready. We'll see. Maybe this week will tell us that. This week will tell us that. But make no mistake, the time is going to come when you got to choose, and you better choose correctly, or you will regret it. You will live with regret because somebody's going to leave, because somebody leaves everywhere. All right, that's further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Appreciate our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana, title sponsor of our Tuesday shows all throughout the year. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana, online at lainsurance.net. For what it's worth, Liam Shanahan was asked about this. Can you play Liam number 4? Liam Shanahan met with the media today. He was asked about, as I'm sure everybody would be, about the quarterback situation. Here's what he said.
Yeah, as good as TJ played, Miles is our guy, and he knows that. And I've said that to him. He's in here every day, obviously getting treatment, and I'm always talking to him. He's just as happy for TJ as anyone else. That's just who he is. But he knows that it's still his job. And having TJ behind him, now knowing that TJ is capable, he's a good player. It's gonna hopefully light even more of a fire in Miles. And knowing that there is competition there, but it is his job.
You know what else happens when there's a quarterback controversy? And this is 100% of the times when you have multiple guys choose from under center. I mean, there is no exception. There are fractions on the team. And listen, and I'll give Ed a ton of credit because they went through this in 2018. Because there were a lot of guys on that team that thought Justin McMillan should have been the starter. Justin was the veteran guy who'd waited his turn, and that was it. And then in comes this transfer, and boom. And you had division among the team who they thought should be the guy. Rose talked about that as well back in 2000 when it was Roe and it was Josh. And there was division on the team. Some guys thought it should have been Rose. Some guys thought it should have been Josh. How you balance that matters, man. Ed's going to have to do a good job. He did it in 2018. He's got to do a good job again here. All right, it's After Further Review. Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Check him out. Go for your free consultation no matter what your refractive issue is. Our friends at Williamson Eye Center can help you live your life without contacts or glasses. The Williamson Eye Center. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. Go for that free consultation. I actually, as a matter of fact, I got a message from a listener today named Janet who went and saw Dr. Blake yesterday for her consultation. If it's LASIK, if it's PRK, if it's a lens replacement, I mean, they are doing world-renowned surgeries, like first in the United States type stuff at the Williamson Eye Center. Because Dr. Blake goes and lectures all over the country, all over the world. I'm telling you, it's an amazing resource that we have right here in Baton Rouge. It's the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEYE.com, WilliamsonEYE.com, or 924-2020. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. If you missed anything, Larry Holder in Hour 1, Scott Kushner on the day when Stan Van Gundy was introduced as the new Pelicans head coach. That was in Hour 2, along with Mikie Mahtook. You heard Rohan Davey earlier this hour. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. All right, y'all, we got one break to go. We'll come back and wrap it up with Otterlocks and what we learned. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Need dinner plans tonight? You know Ichiban is always a great option. Essen near Perkins and Airline Highway in Gonzales. But our friends at Ichiban have a new creation. Boru Ramen Noodle and Poke Bar. This isn't the ramen that you used to eat when you were in college. Our friend Patrick Guang, he went to New York City and trained in ramen shops both in Tokyo and New York City. They make all of their noodles in-house. The soups are on the pot going for 28 hours to extract all of the umami out of the bones to get the best flavors possible. Y'all, this is different, man. This is a different experience. It's Boru Ramen and Poke. Try it today. You can get to the website at Boru, B-O-R-U, ramenpoke.com, P-O-K-E, Boru ramenpoke.com to learn more. Or you can always make tonight an Ichiban night.
At Corvell Toyota Annapolis, you can get into a 2020 Highlander for $4,500 off MSRP. That's right, $4,500 off MSRP. Hurry in, they won't last long. That's Corvell Toyota Annapolis, Happy Town, USA.
Hello.
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up.
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Otterlocks, presented by Hot Rods Creole. The way to Creole. Shop online, hotrodscreole.com.
All right, we welcome aboard Jimmy Ott. Game time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. Of course, you can always listen online or watch on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matthew. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Game 6. All right, man. We getting to Game 7, or does it end tonight?
Man, this is. I am not the guy to give you a pick tonight. I hate to say it, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, because I got Game 6. I got the Dodgers to win in 6. I got the Dodgers to win. But you know what? This adds up like it looks like a Rays win tonight. I'm not going to lie. So, tough one tonight, Matthew. You know, it's my 54th birthday today, Matthew. So, you know, right there.
Oh! How about this? Happy birthday. Mike's on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Otter. Like it a week. Happy birthday to you. Hey! All right, Otter.
Upstaging Ruffin Rodriguez. Happy.
Hello, Samantha dear. Hope y'all feeling fine. He does it better than I do.
He's having a good time. Let him play. So anyway.
Hey, no, all right. So are you not going to pick the game tonight?
No, because Dave Roberts. Actually, I got a stake.
I get it.
I don't want the Rays to win, but I think the Rays are going to win.
I got it.
I do think they're going to win tonight. They're coming back plus money. What scares me is everybody's on the Rays. It's going from $1.55 to $1.28. I mean, it is, and that's with a lot of Dodgers money in Las Vegas. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's an hour flight away, 4-hour drive, whatever, So
No doubt.
It's just and Dave Roberts, man, he scares me in the postseason because he's blown it before. And now, listen, to his defense, a lot of the decisions are analytically, predetermined before they even throw out the first pitch. But the problem is with that, you don't recognize the flow of the game. And so, to his defense, but still, he says that Kershaw, the pitcher for Vandy. I mean,
Buehler, Walker Buehler.
Guys, yes, and Urias. His top 3 starters are all definitely out tonight. They're not throwing no matter what. Now, come on, Matt. I mean, if you need Walker Buehler to throw, get you 6 outs with a 3-run lead, let's end it, huh?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, so I just don't. He scares me a little bit because Game 7, man, you don't know. But look, I'm conflicted. Okay,
I understand.
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
It
comes with age.
If you need more conflict, or just because you feel bad and you want to listen to him on his birthday, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge, or you can watch on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Otter, where are y'all tonight?
We're at Dozie's
All
place.
right. Have yourself an
Right
old-fashioned.
down
Have yourself a birthday old-fashioned and a steak, Otter.
There you go. Come on by and see us. Chef George is whipping up some special stuff for us tonight.
I'll look forward to it, man. Have a good show. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, brother. How about
All right.
that rocking chair under last night? Thank you.
He hit the under last night. He's on a roll. All right, it's going to do it for us here. Muso, HotRodsCreole.com. HotRodsCreole.com. Use the promo code AFR. They'll give you free shipping at HotRodsCreole.com. Hot Rods Creole, don't you cook without it. Hot Rods Creole, the new way to Creole. Muso, what did you learn?
It's Jimmy Ott's birthday.
We did just learn that. Paul.
Lane Kiffin is currently accepting your penny donation.
Amen.
Matt, what'd you learn?
Will Guillory has really nice shoes. It's going to do it for us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Check it out if you missed anything on the show. Until tomorrow, have a great night.
AFR.
And as we get on down the road, we remind you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Look, if that check engine light is on, take it to Shawbills. If the little tire pressure light is on and you don't know how to put air in your tires, bring it to Shawbills. They'll do it for you for free. Got a hole in your tire? They'll patch your tire for free. They will repair your tire for free. That is not a gimmick. That is just something Mr. Charlie said that they should do when they open their doors, and they've done it for more than 50 years. They treat you like family. ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com, with 18 locations and 2 more locations coming. One soon here in the end of 2019, or 2020, and one at the beginning of 2021. ShawbillsTire.com to find the location nearest you, to schedule service, or to shop tires. If you need tires on that vehicle, no one will sell you name brand tires for cheaper prices than Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rope.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At all